Today, we've got a real original episode for you fools. We talk about 7 things that I hate about Diablo 4, unless somebody else also made a video before this one entitled 7 things they hate about Diablo 4, in which case, fuck that guy. I hate them. Let's start there. But then let's move on to some equally important issues. Number 2, the Battle Pass. There's literally no point in buying this. Cosmetics only, terrible way to monetize this game long term. Blizzard been listening to babies for way too long. Number 3, restricted trade. I'm about to tear this sumbitch a whole new asshole in this video in exchange for having an NPC named after me in-game or $1 billion. Either or. Number 4, the Super Deluxe Cosmic Giga Chad edition of this game doesn't even come with Halsey. Big mistake for that price. Number 5, Blizzard didn't invite Cooley to their super secret Diablo 4 beta test. Apparently this game is lacking adequate PvP testing, which is my number 6. And number 7, Diablo 4 is not Diablo 2. Tough act to follow. In all seriousness, let's actually look at some of the most important things and talk about real change. Over the last few weeks, we've gained a lot of information about Diablo 4. Mounts hinting at an important character, battle pass pricing, and candles. Countless content creators being invited to privately play the upcoming title and provide what could be seen as honest feedback.
I'm happy to say, it's looking pretty darn good.
I'm choosing to believe that their feedback is in no way influenced by their desire to be invited to such things in the future. And if you dig deep enough, we can actually get a very clear view of how things currently are in this version of Diablo 4. I might have a solution to the most divisive issue surrounding the upcoming title, and luckily for us, the devs might be listening. But just in case they're not, make sure to like and share this video, and maybe they will. Dbrunski, in a recent video, leveraged a number of his concerns about Diablo 4.
So if you're still on the fence about purchasing the game, definitely wait till it launches, check out some streamers, some review videos, and then you can decide whether or not you want to play Diablo 4. If you don't, you have D2 and other games you want to play, you don't have to purchase it.
That's Canadian for fuck this game. In all seriousness, he brought up some great points about boss fights falling into the D3 pattern, where they're basically regular monsters with bigger life pools. He also mentioned his disdain for Blizzard trying to implement FOMO responses from players and get their precious monies. These guys gotta make money somehow, boys. Regardless, one of the best points he and other content creators have addressed is the concept of restricted trade. Someone, I don't know who, made a rather scathing video concerning the initial leaks of D4 trading. Might have got a little exaggerate-y in that video as well. However, the devs appear to be listening to their player base and are willing to make changes in the game that the community wants. I was surprised to see Dbrunski be on the side of unrestricted trading. Seeing an OG D2 PVM content creator who likely has a lot of fans in support of solo self-found playstyles, it was refreshing to see that even he believed this was a crucial part of the game. While the devs were initially quiet on the issue of in-game trading, many others have reflected on what it appears to be from their early playtesting access. One organization in particular has a number of content creators on its roster and is likely responsible for nearly all of them getting early access to Diablo 4. That organization is MaxRoll. MaxRoll.gg is spearheaded by a leader who is motivated to make this website the most trusted ARPG website in the world, and they've certainly done a lot of good work to achieve that. Part of the perks of this is that MaxRoll has developed a very close working relationship with Blizzard Entertainment that's sort of been under the radar. As someone who was once part of the MaxRoll team, I can personally attest that the only reason I was given access to Diablo 2 Resurrected Alpha or Beta was because I was part of that team at that time. Like seriously, do you think Blizzard would invite me to anything? After gaining that early access, I demonstrated the weapon swap glitch for 20 minutes on stream, and then proceeded to crack into areas of the game where I didn't belong. Not a playtester that Blizzard appreciates, but one that I certainly hope you guys do. Werebear, you ready? Oh, it works! It works! Look at that bear! Blizzard's never inviting me to anything again, but that's not the point. The level of detail that these guys go into to put information onto their site is rivaled by no other source that I've seen. So when I see something on this site, I can trust that it's probably verified and true. One MaxRoll D4 team member and content creator, Rob, wrote an article breaking down the current trade structure of Diablo 4. He states, and I quote, "Either an item is tradable or it is not, in which case an item is marked as account bound in the tooltip. We can see that the tradable items concern common items, magic items, rare items, gold gems, and elixirs. Items that cannot be traded include legendary items and aspects, unique items, and then enchanted items, other currencies but gold, and of course quest items," which those totally make sense. This alone tells us a lot. Either magic and rare items are complete trash in this game and legendaries, aspects, and uniques are the way to go, or this trade system is already busted. The devs have already gone on to say that they are modeling this game after Diablo 2, meaning that certain magic and rare items could indeed be best in slot. Think about this trading system as such. An item like Astrion's Iron Ward in Diablo 2 would not be tradable, but a 230/20 2 open socket 60 life all-res helm might be. You can see the discrepancy in this already. Over time, if you listen to the pay-to-win argument on one side of this, this is going to force the power out of the magic and rare items and into the legendaries and uniques, suddenly making this game a D3 clone. But this brings us to the second part of the argument here. Is there a solution that can make everybody happy when it comes to trading? The devs are obviously trying to make this game not feel like it's pay to win at just about every stage, and part of that includes limiting players' ability to trade very valuable items. Because obviously when that happens, you have outside websites, you have D2JSP, you have people selling items for real money. While I don't have a problem with this, I'm not contesting that that happens. But if the D4 devs are designing this with any sort of purpose and any sort of reasoning behind restricting trade like this, there may actually be a solution. As we know from information provided by the devs, there will be seasons similar to Diablo 2 Resurrected, D3, and even Diablo Immortal. These seasons are intended to give all players a fresh start, finding new items, engaging in new quests, and doing all new things that the devs develop for that season. Previous characters created in other seasons will be sifted to some sort of non-ladder or out-of-season status. Imagine for a second that only in-season characters were restricted by trade. As soon as a character is out of season or non-ladder for the D2R players out there, what if trade was suddenly not restricted at that point for those players? You would not see people paying for items to compete to climb a ladder. You would not see active quests or active PvP or active competition on a current ladder season be in any way affected by anything that the devs have deemed as reasonable trading. It would only be the legacy characters that were out of season or non-ladder that could make their builds better by engaging in completely free trade. When we look at Diablo 2 for an example, we see that most duelers actually duel in non-ladder. That's because there's really no incentive for a dueler to rebuild their entire character every season just to prove themselves in the blood more, especially in a game that doesn't rank or value PvP inherently. Undoubtedly, this sort of approach would involve outside websites selling items for a profit. It would involve people being able to sell their items on D2JSP or trade them on sites like Tradery or Diablo Dex. But now we're talking about trading in that aspect where it doesn't truly matter to the real competition of each season. Additionally, an auction house could be brought back for off-season non-competitive play. This would remove the need for sites like D2JSP, item selling websites, something that could allow the devs to completely skirt this pay-to-win aspect of people on every ladder season, while also allowing the game to gain a long-term following and a long-term value of its items through trading off-season. While I personally don't support any restricted trading, I think if we're gonna do it, this is probably the way to go. But those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. Is this a good long-term solution, or are there problems with it that are unforeseen?